Relief and a lot of happiness in the studio, just as I imagine. What an end to the second half. I was about to say what a second half, but I mean, that was just brilliant, especially towards the end, Shaun.
Well, was it ever in doubt? No chance. Not when you got that man there on the pitch. But a lot of the energy we was talking about halftime, that what we needed to happen with the subs coming on, they all made a difference, brought that energy. He it was one of those games where, as a forward, you're not really getting much chances, not even getting much touches, but he's just hoping for that one good chance. And how he gets his foot onto it, it's absolutely brilliant. And previous to that was John Stones' goal, but he just seems to surprise me and amaze me every time. It's absolutely brilliant.
It was sort of almost inevitable that he was going to stamp his authority on the game, Darius.
Yeah, we said at the break, didn't we, that they're going to have to try and do something to upset, the defenders, do something a little bit different, add a bit of energy in wide areas. And you see, I think it was Cancelo who put the ball in. I mean, I'm an admirer of the ball. I think as a striker, you want those balls, don't you? So you can just try and get on the end of it. He puts it in with the outside of his boot, and I doubt that's something they practice to do. I think that's something the freedom of his play brings out. And then Haaland, that's all he wants, because you're right, he's not getting touches of the ball. If he can get the ball into the box, he's going to try and get himself on the end of it. And the way that he did it in the end, I don't think anybody else on the pitch could have scored that goal.
It was ridiculous. It was like a karate kick. I can't even lift my foot that high.
Well, it really was. And what I'd say is, when I'm looking at his position, the defender is actually in a brilliant position. He still knows exactly where Haaland is. He knows he's a half a yard just behind him. He's in a perfect position. But because where that ball is, and because of his ability to get that 2-3 yards or that first 5 sort of steps, he's explosive. And then to get his foot onto that, because I look at it and I thought, why is he not going with his head? And I'm thinking, I don't think he can get his head on it. But somehow he's managed to get his foot on it and direct it goal. Absolutely unbelievable. The quality of the pass, as you said, Cancelo outside the foot, absolutely beautiful. And then how he gets on the end of it, I don't know how. The one chance, he puts it away. Absolutely brilliant.
Now, there's one man that we're not going to forget about, by the way, our number 5, the Barnsley Beckenbauer, who got us back into the game with something that we were all pretty shocked about it in the studio. It had a little bit, dare I say, not quite in the top corner of another centre-half who did it against Leicester, but that was so incredible to see.
It really was. I mean, the worst I was thinking, that I was slightly hearing commentary, Rudy, you want your statue stones? But we looked at it, I mean, it was beautifully struck. But the goalkeeper, I think, should have got a little bit more.
Well, he took his hand away, it looked like, didn't it? And you think, well, that's the opposite of what a goalkeeper should be doing. I was a fan of De Bruyne's layoff. I think the layoff to Stones, asked the question to Stones, what do you want to do now?
What do you want to do?
And then Stones got his first touch out of his feet, and then, this is the thing you dream about in your bedroom, isn't it? He had to take the shot on, didn't he?
I mean, you did make a comment in the studio saying it was such a great first touch by him. That's super important to take that touch, because without that perfect first touch, that doesn't go into...
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think... the keeper does deserve criticism, but he possibly wasn't expecting a shot there. I think possibly a cross. But the way he attacked the ball, put a bit of movement on the ball as well. Really good strike.
It'd be interesting, because when I looked at the replay, I'm not even sure if he... Sometimes you could throw a cross in it. It isn't actually a good opportunity for a forward. And probably when Stones is shot, he's probably... When he's at the touch, he's like, there's not quite anything on. I'm going to hit it. And he's hit it with such venom. He's hit it as though something happened earlier, like he was not happy with. It was such venom that he struck it with, and well struck. But I thought the keeper could have probably done a little bit more, but I don't want to take away from the strike. It was beautifully struck.
The frustration could well have been that was our first shot on target in the game, and our second shot on target, we touched on it ever so slightly a minute ago, was the karate-like kick from Erling Haaland. As you can see on the screen, how on earth does someone get their leg that high, firstly, and secondly, how are they so accurate with it? It's incredible, Shaun.
Yes, it is. The ball's come from the left-hand side. He's managed to get his left foot up there to connect with it. Normally, when a ball comes from that side, you're thinking perhaps he may have gone with his right, but he's adjusted. It shows he's adjusted his feet quick enough, well enough to get it up there and, get it on target. And because he's been able to reach that ball, it's caught the keeper off guard. The keeper's, sort of like, he's seen it come at the last second, but he can't do anything about it. I mean, I don't know what to say about this guy. It's 13 goals and.
Something possibly 14, 15.
Absolutely ridiculous.
The determination in his face there. And it's not a technique you would teach, or you probably could teach as a coach. That's his pure hunger and determination of wanting to get on the end of whatever's coming into the box.
There are genuinely strikers who probably won't score a header in that position. And this man is just ridiculous. Now, it wasn't all fun and games in the second half. We did go 1 goal behind, and it was Jude Bellingham, who was actually fantastic, but it was a little bit of a disappointing goal to concede, Darius.
Yeah, any goal to concede is always disappointing. But in terms of the play, we said at the start, didn't we? Got to stay concentrated. Got to make sure that if we're not going to score a goal, they don't score. They must not score when we're at home. So to concede that in that manner, but at the same time, I don't think there's much the goalkeeper could have done. And I do think Jude Bellingham did show some good predatory instinct in that situation.
I mean, when it initially started from the corner and it comes across and it goes out the far side. And as the player, I think it was Roos who sort of had the touch. As he's having that touch, I'm thinking squeeze up. We squeezed up 2 yards. I think we probably, I think if Pep analyses and he'll probably say, could we have gone another 2 yards? And I think then Jude Bellingham may have been in a position where questionable for being offside. But we come up 2 yards and then sort of set for when he's taking his strike. And I think if we'd sort of gone 4 yards, we would have been in line somewhere with Jude Bellingham. But, listen, he's done well. That's instinct. That's sniffing out a chance. That's, he's recognised that ball's going in. Either if it's on target, the keeper may get a parry and he could tap it in, or it may come to him and he gets a touch on it. And that's exactly what happened. So brilliant by him.
And Pep immediately went and made the 3 subs, Bernardo, Foden and Alvarez, and there was an instant impact by Foden. He put a ball in and it was an exceptional clearance by Hummels, who, apart from probably in the last 5, 6 minutes, 10 minutes of the game, him and Sula were absolutely incredible.
Yes, it was. And I think Alistair had said it was a world-class stop in terms of him getting onto that ball. I mean, it was precision. It was absolutely brilliant. And how he managed to intercept it or knock it out for a corner was brilliant because, again, Haaland was behind.
Yeah, he understood, didn't he, that Haaland's behind him and this is a goal. If he doesn't get a touch on this ball, it's a goal. If he doesn't get the right touch on the ball, it's an own goal. And this is his experience, isn't it? And we've been there as forwards. It's like, he knows. He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
It was brilliant defending by him, though.
There was a little bit of an air of it's going to be a little bit frustrating, but thankfully the last 10 minutes were brilliant, John Stones. And Alvarez also had a chance at the end to make it 3. Very, very close. And he was very impressive coming off the bench.
Yeah, he brings energy. For teams that have a low block and make it frustrating for us, he's the one that I would always probably look as a go-to because even out of possession, he's gonna rat around, he's gonna rush you, the next player, and help us win back possession. But he gets that chance, he gets it out his feet. And I mean, the keeper's made a save, it's close by. But I'm sitting there thinking, go and get yourself a goal because, again, he came and brought the energy. Him, Bernardo Silva and Foden, they just brought that energy that we was talking about at half-time.
Yeah. And I think the changes did change the game. Now, one thing we've got to look at now is our next fixture against Wolves. We've got a little bit less of a break than usual. We are in the early kick-off on Saturday away at Molineux. It was 5-1 last year. De Bruyne scored 4 goals. It was incredible to see. It's going to be a lot more different, surely, this time.
Of course, it'll be a difficult place to go. I know that for a fact because I'm working there at the academy. But going off the back of a midweek win like this, the motivation, it's the right preparation that Pep would have wanted going into that game. And obviously with Haaland in that kind of form, frees up the other players like what we said. They're away from home. Wolves are going to try and obviously win the game. That might open up the game for City and they might have more joy possibly.
We've had some tricky games against Wolves, and this will be the one thing that Pep will remind the players. Brilliant win in terms of the Champions League. I expect some changes because even after such a big win coming back late, I think he'll freshen up with those 3 players that came on, being 3 that potentially could start. Just freshen it up because Wolves again has been one of those teams that. Again, the counter-attacking team and got quality in that midfield that can hurt teams as well. So, we just got to rest, recuperate, and be ready for that one.
And it's always entertaining watching Manchester City, so we will expect another entertaining game. We'll be back, Matchday Live will be back on Saturday for the Wolves game. One thing we will leave you with today is the Together 2 trailer. Now, Together is a 7-part series and it is all out, so please remember to download City Plus and you can download that and check that out. But from me, Darius, Vassell and Shaun, thank you guys for sticking with us, and thank you to Man City for making it as entertaining as always, and we will see you next time.